Welcome back to the deep dive. If you've ever scrolled through tons of financial advice, just wondering where to even start, especially now, well, this deep dive, it's for you.
Yeah.
We're going to cut through all that noise and really focus on, well, one big truth.
Mm-hmm.
Your 20s. They aren't just a good time to start investing. They are arguably the most powerful decade for your entire financial future.
It really comes down to math, doesn't it? Time. That's the resource you have buckets of right now, and you can't get it back.
Right.
If you kind of let this decade slip by. You haven't just, delayed saving. You've basically given up decades of compound growth.
Yeah.
You can't make that up later. Not really.
So our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to unpack the 5 smartest, highest impact investments you can make in your 20s. We looked at the research, the long-term stuff, and structured it for, maximum clarity. And crucially, we're starting somewhere maybe a bit different, with the investment that actually yields the highest return. And yeah, that's you.
Exactly. Think of this as your financial launchpad guide.
Yeah.
We're kicking off with maximizing your human capital first, because honestly, everything else, how much you save, your tax situation, even how much risk you can handle it, all flows from your ability to earn more money.
Okay, let's dive into that. Key investment number 1, focusing on high ROI skills, marketable skills, and targeted education. Traditional advice often jumps straight to stocks, right?
Right, stocks and bonds.
But our sources really hammer this home.
Right.
Getting just a $1 an hour raise, that's maybe $2,000 a year, over 40 years. Mathematically, that can be worth way more than some lucky stock pick.
It's huge. And when we say skills, look, we're not necessarily talking about going back for another expensive 4-year degree. Not always.
Okay.
We mean these micro investments.
Mm-hmm.
Skills that are in demand right now and that you can actually use immediately.
And the source material actually gave a great list. Things like coding, but maybe specifically Python for automating stuff, even if you're not a techie.
Yeah, practical stuff.
High-level digital marketing, data analysis, sales is always huge, getting good with AI tools.
Yeah.
And maybe the most timeless one, public speaking, just communicating effectively.
Yeah, think about it like this. Your skills, that's your main asset you can trade on. And the source have pointed out this amazing stat. Spending maybe $200 on a really specific online course today, that could genuinely lead to a $20,000 raise or help you pivot your career down the line.
Wow. Okay. What is that? A 10,000% return.
Something like that. It's exponential.
Hard to beat. It really brings home that Warren Buffett quote, the best investment you can make is in yourself. Get the earning machine working well, and the money follows.
Exactly. Which kind of leads us perfectly into the second area, also often overlooked, but it directly impacts that first one, your health and your relationships.
Right. This usually gets put in the lifestyle bucket, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
But if you look at it through a financial lens, it's
Yeah.
actually critical risk management.
Okay, explain that. Why is hitting the gym or, getting enough sleep an investment, not just something you cut back on when money's tight?
Well, think about the long-term drag. The single biggest cost for many people later in life, especially in the U.S., it's poor health, astronomical costs.
Mm-hmm.
But even shorter term, think about the immediate hit to your brain power. If you're not sleeping well, eating junk. Your mental energy tanks. That means less focus, you're worse at negotiating, less productive. All that stuff directly hits your earning potential today. You're basically paying this hidden tax on your performance.
Wow. Okay. That completely reframes it. You're investing in the actual energy and clarity you need to use those skills we just talked about.
Precisely.
And the relationship side, we're not just talking about weekend buddies here.
No. We mean intentionally building a valuable network.
Yeah.
Based on actually helping each other out, being curious about what others do. Because those unexpected opportunities, the dream job offer,
Yeah.
a potential business partner, a lead on something new, they so often come through people, not just scrolling job boards.
Right.
Investing time in that network, genuinely supporting others, it means you're the person people think of when those big doors open.
I remember reading one example. I think it was a designer, landed this massive contract, $500,000.
Yeah.
Simply because they had kept in touch casually with someone from college who ended up becoming a big exec somewhere. That tiny investment in just staying connected paid off huge years later.
That's exactly it. It's networking based on real respect, and the return on opportunity can be just incredible.
Okay, that actually flows really well into our next section. Once you've kind of beefed up yourself into this earning and networking machine,
Yeah.
the next job is making sure that income starts working hard for you, right? And this is where time really becomes the superpower.
Yes. This is where we hit key investment number 3.
Yeah.
Getting smart about retirement accounts. Specifically, knowing the difference between, say, a 401k and a Roth IRA. Because in your 20s, you've got this massive advantage, time for compounding plus potential tax benefits.
Let's start with the absolute must-do. If your company offers a 401k match,
Oh, yeah.
you have to contribute at least enough to get the full match. It's free money, immediate profit.
100%.
Yeah.
Leaving that on the table. Just like turning down a 50% or even 100% return instantly. It's madness not to take it.
Non-negotiable. Okay.
And then there's the Roth IRA piece. This is really interesting for someone starting out in their 20s.
Yeah.
Because odds are you're in a lower tax bracket now than you probably will be in, say, 15 or 20 years when your career takes off.
Right. So the Roth idea is you pay the income tax on that money now while your tax rate is relatively low. And then decades later when you retire, and hopefully that money has grown significantly, all the withdrawals are completely tax-free.
It's a massive win, both psychologically and financially for your future selves. It's kind of hard to grasp the scale until you put numbers on it.
Okay, give us an example.
So let's say you start putting just $200 a month into a Roth IRA. Start at age 22, keep it going till 65. If you get, let's say, an average 8% return, which is historically reasonable for the market,
Yeah.
you could end up with close to $1.5 million tax-free in retirement.
Wow.
All from just consistently putting aside what's basically the cost of, 4 dinners out a month.
That's staggering. It really shows how starting early and being consistent just blows away trying to time the market or pick the next hot stuff.
Absolutely. Which brings us neatly to investment number 4.
Yeah.
Still in the market, but taking a very different approach than chasing trends.
Yeah, the research here was pretty blunt. Don't try to be a stock picker. Don't chase the meme stocks or whatever's hot this week.
Nope.
The big players, the institutions, they have advantages, speed, information, sheer scale that the average person just can't match trying to beat the market long term. It's more like gambling than investing.
So the question we always get is, okay, if I shouldn't pick stocks, and most professional managers don't beat the market over time anyway, what should I do?
Right.
And the answer is proven. It's simple. And honestly, it's mathematically your best bet. Broad market index funds and ETFs. Specifically, something that tracks, say, the S&P 500.
But hang on, isn't just tracking the S&P 500 kind of boring or too conservative? Aren't we missing out on potentially faster growth when we're young?
That's the natural tension, right?
Well,
But what we're doing here is optimizing for reducing risk while guaranteeing we participate in overall economic growth.
okay.
Over long periods, these broad funds have reliably delivered average returns around 8 to 10% a year. You're essentially betting on the entire U.S. economy, or global, depending on the fund. You automatically capture the gains of the next big thing, like the next Apple, without having to guess who it'll be.
And critically important for someone in their 20s starting out, this strategy works perfectly with dollar cost averaging, or DCA.
Yes, DCA is your best friend here. It takes all the emotion out. You invest a fixed amount, say $300 every single month. Doesn't matter if the market's up or down.
So when prices are low, your $300 buys more shares.
Exactly. And when prices are high, it buys fewer. Over time, this automatically brings down your average cost per share. It's systematic. It's effortless wealth building. It actually turns market dips into opportunities as long as you just stick with it.
Let's use another number example. That $300 a month, starting at age 25, just consistently into broad index funds. By retirement, that alone could potentially get you over the $1 million mark, just from compound interest and DCA working together.
It really is that eighth wonder of the world thing that Einstein supposedly talked about, compounding.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate lazy way to get wealthy. Set it up automatically and just let it run.
Okay, moving to our 5th and final key investment. This one feels really relevant today. Focus on income security in, well, a pretty rapidly changing job market.
Yeah.
Investment number 5, building some kind of leveraged side hustle or a strong personal brand.
What's really interesting from the research here is this core idea, maybe a little blunt but realistic.
Yeah.
That old idea of job security, it's kind of gone. The safest career path now, arguably, is having multiple sources of income, not just relying on one paycheck from one employer. So this investment is really about diversifying your labor, hedging your career risk.
Okay, I get the security angle. Multiple streams make sense. But isn't that also just exhausting?
Yeah.
Asking someone in their 20s, working a full-time job, to then start another business on the side. How do you balance that?
That's a great question. And the focus here shifts from just trading more hours for more dollars to building things that have leverage, things that can scale beyond your direct time input.
Okay, like what?
Well, the sources mention things like starting a niche email newsletter, creating an online course, teaching something, building a digital product, maybe a YouTube channel focused on a specific skill. The upfront time investment might be significant, yes, but the potential upside isn't directly tied to the hours you put in each week.
Yeah.
It can grow independently.
And the cost to start these things is often super low now, right? You can launch a newsletter or a simple digital product with almost no money, basically turning investment number one, those skills you build, into something you can sell directly.
Exactly. That's how you start to future-proof your income. That little side project you start tinkering with tonight, it's actually a serious piece of risk management for your future self.
Yeah.
And we forget, sometimes, Amazon started in a garage. Apple, Facebook, they all began as small projects, side ventures. What you start small today could absolutely become your main thing later on. It can totally change your financial path.
Okay, so let's kind of recap for everyone listening. We've covered these 5 big foundational investments, basically your financial launch pad for your 20s.
Yeah.
1, build those high ROI marketable skills. 2, prioritize your long-term health and build a real network. 3, max out those tax-advantaged retirement accounts, get the 401k match, understand the Roth. 4, keep investing simple and proven with broad index funds using DCA. And 5, build some income security for the future with a leveraged side hustle or personal brand.
That's a perfect summary. And the core message is simple. The choices you make now, what you do with that extra couple $100 this month, they have these huge ripple effects for decades.
Right.
Instead of letting that money just kind of disappear on stuff that loses value instantly, focus it on these 5 areas. They literally never stop paying you back.
Absolutely. And the goal isn't just about being rich later. It's about building a foundation that gives you more freedom, more options, more opportunity, starting right now.
Exactly. So maybe the final thought we want to leave you with, just to make sure this actually turns into action, is this. Think about those 5 areas we covered: skills, health network, retirement accounts, index funds, side hustle. Which one of those lifelong investments are you going to commit to prioritizing starting like today?